What's up, a Cinema Shogun here, and I'm not gonna lie, I am still just a tad bit ticked off about what happened with Jared in court the other day. For those of you all who might not know, Jared Leisek from Adventures with Purpose was set and scheduled to have his first court hearing on November 30th for some of the most disgusting charges you could possibly imagine. But instead of Jared having his court hearing as planned and as scheduled, the hearing was canceled literally in the middle of the hearing because YouTubers decided to act a complete ass as usual. YouTubers were in the courtroom chat. The chat that is supposed to be used by people within the courtroom, they're in the chat treating it as if it was a YouTube live chat. During court proceedings, multiple times, YouTubers are heard asking for super chats, telling people to hit the like button, telling people to subscribe to their channel, talking about giveaways and you name it. And regardless if this was all a complete accident or if it happened on purpose, there's no denying that it happened. Yet there are still tons of people in denial, denying that any of this happened, even though it happened in front of all of our faces, even though there are videos all across YouTube showing you all what happened. These people are still in denial. And there are few things that I hate more on God's green earth than going into my comment section and seeing people say, "You didn't do your research, you're wrong, you ain't do your research." Because I know those comments 10 times out of 10, 100% of the time, they come from people who have no clue what they're talking about. They come from people who don't do their own research at all. They come from people who approach situations using their emotions instead of logic. Meaning, they don't logically think about something. They judge things based on their emotions. So if they like someone or something, they're going to defend it and deny that anything happened regardless of what happened. And that's not what we do here on this channel. So when seeing comments like this, it ticks me off because I literally spend all day, from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, I spend all day doing research. I am spending less time with my family, less time with my friends and loved ones, less time with my pets, less time on my other business ventures, less time on the hobbies that I love and enjoy, all to do research so I can make these videos. Plus, I research other stories that I don't talk about here on YouTube, and I do a lot of research into things that I could never ever talk about on YouTube, even if I wanted to. But hopefully we can find a space where we could all congregate and have those conversations one day. But when all of this madness took place during Jared's court hearing, I made a video about it because I was already scheduled to be covering Jared's court hearing the day of his hearing. All of my subscribers already knew that I was going to be covering that story. So of course, when everything went, down the drain, I'm not going to pretend like nothing happened. I came to my subscribers, I made a video giving them the factual information about what happened in court. In that video, I said that YouTubers ruined the court proceeding because they were live streaming and they were being heard talking over the courtroom microphones. And I mentioned a YouTuber by the name of Duty Ron. And there are a ton of other YouTubers who are doing stuff as well. I'm not going to spend 16 hours of my day trying to track all of them down. I don't watch most of these people or even know most of these people exist. That's nothing against them. I don't know of these people. But I very clearly heard Duty Ron during the court hearing. So when I mentioned that, people came in my comments immediately. "You didn't do your research, you're wrong, I'm unsubscribing, you don't know what you're talking about. He wasn't live streaming, you're not doing your research." And a lot of people are trying to hang on this technicality because technically, Duty Ron wasn't showing the whole video live stream and all this BS. So I do my research, I go to Duty Ron's channel, and within 10 seconds, we see Duty Ron pull up the live stream. But the point of this video, I want you all to understand that I'm not trying to attack this dude. I don't have any problems with this guy. I don't know this guy at all. I was simply making a video stating facts about what happened And then people tried to act like I was lying, as if I'm not a credible source for information because I said that these people were live streaming and talking during the court proceedings. The type of person I am, if I give you all my opinion and you tell me my opinion's wrong and you say I need to do my research, then fine. I mean, of course, we could have a conversation about that. We could argue, we could debate, we could have a friendly discussion, whatever. But opinions are opinions. My opinions aren't always right. So if you tell me I'm wrong, cool, whatever. But if I bring you all a concrete fact that is right there in front of everyone's face, and you tell me that I need to do my research and I'm wrong, you're going to make me double down on bringing you all the facts. You're going to put these people who you're trying to defend in my crosshairs. So a lot of people in my comment section trying to defend this YouTuber, you don't know what you're talking about, do your research. Not only are you lying for him, you're making things worse for him because you're putting him in my crosshairs. Because now you make me feel the need to double down with the facts. Like, there's no need for me to still be talking about this situation. But if you're going to tell people that I'm spreading lies and misinformation, then I have every right to defend myself. And I don't want to sit here and have to make a video about how Duty Ron pulled up the live stream multiple times in that video. I don't want to have to sit here and talk about how Duty Ron literally tells people, hey, when something interesting is happening, we're going to pull up the live stream. I don't need to make videos about that. I don't need to make videos about how Duty Ron is Adventures with Purpose #1 fan and how he sucks all of them off. I don't need to make videos on that. I don't need to be talking about the situation anymore. I said what I said. I factually stated what happened in court, and that could have been the end of it. But when people are playing these delusional games, I'm not going to sit here and be silent. I'm not here to play these delusional, childlike games with anyone. I'm not going to sit here and play games with anybody who's sitting here and denying stuff that is literally caught on video. Now, if I have to bring up the clips and I have to bring out the screenshots, we will. If you want to comment in my comment section and tell me that I didn't do my research and I'm wrong, then sure, we can double down and I can expose all of it. It's really nothing to expose. It's all there on video, but we can take it there if you would like to. So the point that I'm trying to make here is you're only making things worse for these people by denying what actually happened. I'm not here to say, go unsubscribe from his channel. This guy's a bad person. He's horrible. He did this. I'm not here to say or do any of that. I'm just simply saying we heard this dude talk during the courtroom hearing, and next thing we know, the courtroom hearing was canceled. And then when I go to this dude's channel, he's blaming everyone else. He's literally calling people disgusting for live streaming the hearing when he told his own subscribers, hey, if it gets interesting, I'll show y'all what's happening. So, oh God, the irony of it all, the hypocrisy of it all. But it's not about all of that. You know, it's not about anything that I was just talking about. What it's really about is Jared's victim. And not just her, the other people who were in court waiting for their hearings as well. Because when I really think about the situation, Jared's victim has been waiting for decades for this day to come. Like, what allegedly happened to her in the 90s. I was a wee lad. Maybe I wasn't even born yet. Maybe I wasn't even walking yet. I just can't help but think about the fact that for the entirety of my life, and I'm 31 years old, for the entirety of my life, this woman has been dealing with this trauma and these deep, dark secrets about what allegedly happened to her at the hands of her own cousin. So she's been dealing with this for years. For years. Like, as long as I have existed on planet Earth, this woman has been dealing with this trauma. And that's a long damn time. A long damn time to wait until November 30th, 2022 to finally get some type of justice, only for it to be ruined by idiots on YouTube. And I don't know about you all, but I kind of deal with anxiety. Now, one thing a lot of people don't talk about is, as humans, we all have anxiety. Literally, what separates us from animals is anxiety. It's that inner voice, that inner monologue, that inner feeling of feeling like, hey, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should do that. That's what makes us human. So we all operate under certain levels of anxiety. It's perfectly natural. But some people deal with anxiety on a higher level than others. And some situations cause more anxiety than others. And I can't imagine how she feels, but putting myself in that position, I would be so nervous and I would have so much anxiety. I would have trouble sleeping. I would have trouble enjoying my life, just waiting for that court date. And you know, the thing about anxiety is sometimes you have this anxiety for no reason, and then the time comes and you're like, why did I have all this anxiety for? But November 30th should have been the day that some of that anxiety and some of that weight was lifted off of her shoulders. But instead, that anxiety and that nervousness is prolonged because of YouTubers. But not just that, not only is she still dealing with that same anxiety, y'all took some unnecessary anxiety and placed it on her by causing all of this madness because it's working out in Jared's favor. Everything that transpired is going to work out in Jared's favor. Jared not having to appear on video, that's working out in his favor. Because Jared is planning on coasting by these charges without the world knowing exactly what's going on. AWP has only lost a few thousand subs. People are still watching his videos right now as we speak. Today, people are still sending donations. Hell, someone, I can guarantee you all, one of the thousands of people who are watching this video, one of you all are still making donations to AWP. And if that's the case, you're a sick fuck. And please don't watch my channel anymore. But there's still people out there making donations to this dude. There are people out here watching him. They're pumping out new videos as we speak. And in my opinion, Jared got a big W in court when all of this happened. But Jared's victim actually sat down with the son and said a few words because, of course, she's upset as well. Let's go ahead and dive right into this article. Utah's criminal R case against Adventures with Purpose founder Jared Leisek has been abruptly canceled because YouTubers streamed the proceedings live, which is against state law. The judge ordered an immediate stop to all of Wednesday's court appearances, including the one against Leisek, who was accused of S.A.ing a female relative in Utah in 1992 when she was between the ages of 9 and 10 years old. The victim, who wishes to remain anonymous, says that she's concerned if people continue to stream the case or if viewers click on the links, it will adversely impact her case and the other cases on the docket. It was unfortunate that people could not conduct themselves in a proper manner during the court proceedings. It was not just the case against Jared. There were so many other people there waiting for their own justice. The case has now been pushed back to a later date. I feel like this says a lot about Jared's victim. Because she could have made this totally about herself. And she had every right to. She could have made this totally about herself. She could have handled this in a way more dramatic fashion. And she had every right to. But instead, she's played it cool, calm, and collected. She didn't say much. And what she did say was basically her acknowledging the other people who were there for justice. So instead of really focusing on herself in this moment, she made sure to talk about the other people. Because when you ruined Jared's court date, you didn't just ruin Jared's court date, you ruined all of the other court hearings that were happening that day as well. And for her in this moment, that I know has to be a tough moment, an emotional moment, the fact that she's not thinking about herself, she's thinking about others, I think that speaks volumes about her character. And I don't know her personally. I've never spoken to the woman a day in my life. But judging by her actions, I think this speaks highly of her, in my opinion. Because this moment, for her, it could have and should have, in my opinion, it should have all been about her. But she didn't make it about her. She made sure that she acknowledged, and what little she said, she made sure she acknowledged the other people whose day was ruined that day as well. And I can only imagine that most of those people weren't there dealing with something as crazy and as disgusting as she was. But all in all, I hope that this doesn't happen again. I don't think that there will be another chance for this to happen again. I'm worried. I'm legit worried. Because I feel like not only do I feel like this is going to work in Jared's advantage, I just get discouraged about the world in general these days. I don't feel like many people care about what happens to little kids these days. I think little kids are being sexualized 24/7 these days. Look at the Balenciaga scandal. And I just don't know if we still live in a country that cares about getting justice for people who have had things like this done to them. If anything, I feel like we are starting to live in a country that supports and encourages people like Jared to do these things. And that's why I always get an icky feeling about this case in general. Because I know that a lot of the higher powers in this country, they support things like this. They're all for things like this. And there's a lot of kid ticklers and kid lovers who have high positions in the court system, in government, and you name it. And I wouldn't be surprised if they work alongside Jared. But let me know your thoughts about all of this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I will talk to you all in the next video.